There's a quiet misconception in modern preparedness culture that technological advancement always equals improvement. Many survivalists, assume that a compact titanium camp stove, a sealed fuel canister, and a freeze-dried pouch represent the pinnacle of field cooking. But if you examine how armies actually fed men under artillery fire in freezing mud and across thousands of miles of contested territory, a different picture emerges. The Second World War did not reward minimalism for its own sake. It rewarded systems that worked under strain. And, in that respect, the field kitchen arrangements of WWIIs were often more resilient, more scalable, and in some ways more tactically sound than the lightweight camp stoves many rely on today. What most people overlook is that feeding soldiers was not just about calories, it was about morale, sanitation, fuel logistics, mobility, and psychological stability. One of the most overlooked advantages of World War II field kitchens was, honestly, their adaptability to fuel scarcity. Many were designed to burn wood, coal, or just about any combustible material that was available locally. In occupied territories where supply lines were stretched thin, this flexibility prevented complete dependence on refined fuel shipments. By contrast, modern camp stoves frequently rely on proprietary fuel canisters or refined white gas. In short-term excursions, this is manageable, but in long-term disruption scenarios, it really does become a vulnerability. World War II logistics planners understood that any system dependent on specialized fuel would fail once transportation networks were disrupted. German and Soviet forces both relied heavily on locally sourced wood for cooking. When fuel convoys were redirected to armored units, American forces, operating with stronger logistical chains, still built redundancy into their cooking arrangements to avoid single points of failure. Fuel flexibility extended operational range, and it also reduced the burden on already strained supply columns. In survival planning terms, redundancy and adaptability consistently outperform efficiency under ideal conditions. Another dimension, and one that's rarely discussed in survival circles, is sanitation. World War II armies faced constant threats from dysentery, typhus, and foodborne illness. Centralized field kitchens allowed for controlled water boiling, regulated food storage, and systematic cleaning procedures. The United States Army's field manuals emphasized not just cooking, but waste disposal and utensil sterilization as well. Hot water from field ranges was used to disinfect mess kits and prevent outbreaks. In the Pacific Theater, where tropical disease posed as much threat as enemy fire, sanitation around food preparation became a matter of operational readiness. Decentralized cooking, every soldier preparing his own ration with minimal oversight, would have increased contamination risk dramatically. World War II experience demonstrates that cooking infrastructure is inseparable from disease prevention. A stove is not just a heat source, it is part of a broader health system. There is an assumption that trailer-mounted field kitchens were cumbersome liabilities. In reality, they were integrated into marching formations with deliberate planning. The alternative, individual stoves scattered across a bivouac, would have created light discipline problems, fire hazards, and inconsistent ration preparation times. Concentrated cooking reduced visible flame signatures and simplified security. In mobile warfare, especially during the rapid advances of 1940 to 41, field kitchens were leapfrogged forward. When mechanization failed due to mud or mechanical breakdown, horse-drawn units kept cooking capacity intact. The lesson for preparedness is that mobility should not come at the cost of robustness. Lightweight is valuable, but durable and adaptable often wins in prolonged crises. World War II soldiers consistently recorded in diaries that hot meals marked the difference between endurance and despair. In the Italian campaign, American troops enduring cold rain and mountainous terrain described the arrival of field kitchens as stabilizing events. Even thin soup and coffee provided psychological anchoring. Routine meal distribution imposed structure on otherwise chaotic days. It reinforced unit cohesion. Soldiers lined up, shared food, and re-established social bonds. Modern survival discussions focus heavily on gear acquisition. World War II field kitchen systems remind us that community and routine are equally critical survival assets. A centralized cooking arrangement naturally fosters cooperation. Individual stoves isolate. After 1945, militaries did not abandon centralized cooking because it was obsolete. They refined it. The United States Army developed improved mobile kitchen trailers during the Cold War, and NATO forces integrated field feeding into logistical doctrine as a core component of readiness. Civilian camping culture evolved differently, with lightweight backpacking emphasizing individualism and minimalism. If history teaches anything, it is that systems built for survival under fire reveal truths that recreational systems may obscure. World War II field kitchens were not romantic relics. They were responses to starvation risk, disease outbreaks, morale collapse, and logistical strain. They embodied principles of redundancy, fuel adaptability, sanitation discipline, and psychological stabilization. Modern camp stoves excel at portability and speed, but when evaluated against the demands of prolonged hardship, feeding dozens or even hundreds, conserving scarce fuel, preventing disease, and maintaining morale, the older systems often demonstrate superior resilience. For those serious about preparedness, history offers a corrective. Study how people survived when resupply was uncertain and winter did not negotiate. Study how armies fed men across continents without relying on sealed fuel canisters. The answers are neither nostalgic nor primitive. They are practical. Remembering these overlooked logistical realities matters because wars are not won by weapons alone. They are sustained by infrastructure, by heat, by food, by disciplined routine. When we examine something as ordinary as a field kitchen, we uncover deeper truths about endurance, organization, and survival under pressure. If you value this kind of grounded historical analysis and want more discussions that move beyond battlefield summaries into the systems that actually sustained armies, subscribe to The Prepper Historian. And if this perspective added depth to your understanding, share the video with someone who takes history and preparedness seriously.